I'm Jonathan Lippert. I'm owner of Lippert Family Farm. We breed some show cattle, we breed goats, and we also do livestock transport across the country. From Burr Hill, Virginia, and we've been hauling cattle commercially for 6 years now. So I've been in the cattle industry since I've been growing up. I grew up on a 500 cow dairy farm. I grew up showing cattle. I grew up showing pigs. I grew up showing lambs. Showed them at the county fair level, jackpot shows, so on and so forth. Dairy cattle, beef cattle, everything. So I've basically been in the cattle industry ever since I've been born. So to get started hauling cattle, we got into raising boar goats, market wethers. We got in pretty heavy for a while. At one point we were running 200 does. But the biggest downfall of when we were buying and selling our animals was finding transport to get them to them. At the time, I was working for the United States government, Marine Corps, as a contractor. And I said I had the trucks, I had the trailers because I was in an agricultural community, in the show community. But I realized there was a big need for transporting. And I made off the whim, I said, I'm going to do it and I'm going to start it. And with my connections across the community, we started it. The most memorable event of hauling in general is basically giving birth to animals on my trailer. It can happen. It can happen to any breeder out there. It can happen no matter what breed you show, what species you had. Birth dates don't always line up. Highland cattle are different than a lot of other breeds. So Highland cattle, in a way, they're smart. They're a smart breed. They're a very smart breed. They're a very stubborn breed. Highland cattle, when seeing them loading, and we load a lot of them, a lot of times they'll get to the trailer, they'll see it, they'll turn around, or they'll back up, and they will force every other animal back in the chute or whatever. Highland cattle they are a smart breed. They're a very smart breed. They know what they're doing. They know what's going on. When they see a trailer back up, they know what's going on. So you either need to run them quick, fast, let's go, let's get them on, or you need to have a trailer that's set up to where you can haul that boss Highland cow, put in the front, lock her in. Because that boss Highland cow, if you think, hey, I'm gonna load my boss, I'm going to load all the other ones, we're going to run them on. That boss is going to get to the very front of that trailer. She's going to stop and she's going to be like, what the heck's going on? She's going to turn around and push everyone back out of that trailer. And you're going to have a mess. And then once they know what's going on, they're going to get to the end of the trailer and they're never going to load. To be straight honest, these two, broke me into the Highland industry.
And that's been good for you?
Oh, absolutely. I move over 100 head of Highland a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hauling Highland cattle is always fun. Highland cattle, obviously, horns, lots of hair, lots of everything. Lots of Highland cattle, we show up and there's not a good loadout facility. So if you're a Highland breeder and you're listening to this, please make us a good loadout facility. Loadout areas for us haulers are very important. That's key. Let's talk specifically on Highland cattle breeders. Typically, unfortunately, Highland cattle breeders are just getting into, the masses anyways, are just getting into transporting animals across the country. So what's that mean to us transporters that haul animals across country? We pull into a lot of places that are not set up for 30 to 34 foot, 35 foot, 36 foot trailer. So we pull into a place that is used to breeding 5 head of cattle, and they might be in a subdivision, and there's nowhere to turn around. So if you are starting to think about breeding Highlands, breeding cattle, whatever, let's start thinking about, hey, I want to sell these cattle. I want to get these cattle out of my property. So plenty of room to turn around for a big truck and trailer, plenty of room for a truck and trailer to back in. I don't necessarily need the perfect pen setup. I don't necessarily need the perfect gate set up, whatever. I need somewhere that I can back up squarely to, and that you guys can have a small enough pen to be able to run these animals in. Remember, when these animals are coming on the trailer, no matter if your animal is hand fed, hey, I can feed my animal treats out of my hand. I guarantee you I will put my pan in your trailer, my animal's gonna walk on your trailer. It's not gonna happen. I promise you, it is not gonna happen. You're gonna put that feed pan in that trailer, and that cow is gonna look at it and go, nope, I wanna go to my pasture. So knowing that, an alleyway works the best. If you can have a big pen, an alleyway that I can back my trailer up to with a slide door, and your animal walks, basically we can force that animal, walk that animal right straight through that alleyway up into my trailer. Nowhere to turn around, nowhere to back up. That is the best. So there's a lot of different options for that, but Googling loadout areas is the best. That is probably one of my biggest, hardest thing to face with the Highland cattle is the loadout areas. Highland cattle are great. They're easy to haul. They haul great. They handle the haul great. But loading them is usually the hardest thing I have to deal with. So you got to remember, Highland cattle obviously got horns. So no matter what you're hauling, I always, as a hauler, I got to remember that. I got to remember that they're very territorial. They're very against each other. If they're a Highland cow from one farm to another farm, they're gonna fight until they realize their dominance. So we were hauling some out of Michigan one time, or Wisconsin one time, I'm sorry, Wisconsin. Showed up to this place, beautiful place, however, they had no facilities. There was literally a corral panel in the middle of a field, probably a 50, 60 acre field, huge field, corral panel. They had cows in there. We got those cows in there. However, those cows were in the same corral panel as cows that they had like the farm over. So they rented fields next to it. So they had two cows from two different fields that have never seen each other that decided they hated each other, but yeah, we had to put them on the same trailer. At the time of loading, I didn't know they were from two different fields until they were on my trailer. And once they're on my trailer, now they're even in closer quarters than what they were in the corral panel. And they decided to light each other up. And I have horn holes to the top of my trailer from each other messing with each other, fighting each other. So just remember, when you're hauling Highlander cattle or you're bringing them together, you know they're going to be territorial. Highland cattle are very territorial, are very specific to who they know, herd specific. When you bring multiples together from different herds, it's going to take a while for them to bash out their pecking order. And on my trailer is not the time. I was in New Hampshire. I had a carry cow in the back out of New York that I had to move to the middle cut. So I moved a couple up to the front cut. Calves were in the middle cut. I moved them up front. I had this cow in the back. I got in there to move her up just to the middle cut. On my back of my trailer, I can slide my trailer door and not lock it, but it'll still stay.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the lady accidentally hit it with her elbow. My lock go clink. I was locked in at this point. I heard it clink. So this cow turned at me, started freaking out, and started just, wow. I'm up, like, holding, she's got good horns. I'm holding her. She's got me in the corner of my trailer, and I'm screaming, you need to unlock, you need to open this door, you need to open this door. I'm like on my feet. I'm up in the corner of the trailer. She hit me good, right? Boom, right in the nuts, right? Finally, about at that point is when that lady opened the door. Opened the door, I got out. Okay. So I reached my hand down my pants. No blood. Okay. I'm okay. Just got a nut shot. I feel bad. Give me a minute. I fed all the animals. I watered all the animals. Everything was fine. All right, I'm out of here. I started driving. I got a couple miles on the road and I started getting nauseous. Lightheaded, dizzy, way out of whack. I'm like, whoa, something's wrong. At this time, I dropped my trousers. My left testicle is hanging out of my nutsack. It's hanging out of there. What are you doing, buddy? Hanging by its cord. So I'm like, so literally I shoved it back up in there. I'm like, all right. I Googled closest hospital. It was 6 miles from me at that point. Get in truck. I'm like, all right, I can make it 6 miles. Started driving. I got about 2 miles. And I started like passing out. Done. I'm out. Pulled over. There was a gas station right there. Pulled over. I called the ambulance. I need you to come get me. What ended up happening was the horn went through my nutsack. It went 4 inches deep in me. Went through my sack, up into my, you know how like you skin a deer and you can skin it, but you don't touch the meat? That's what happened up into my stomach. Just went through from the meat to the skin and just went 4 inches up. They couldn't sew it back together. It had to drain, right? It had to drain. So it had to heal from inside out. So if they healed it up, sewed it up, whatever, but they couldn't. At the end of the day, everything still fit place, right place. So I called my other driver. I was like, I got to the hospital. I called her up. She just got done with the run. I was like, listen, it was Sarah. I was like, Sarah, listen, you got to come get this trailer. I think I had like 6 or 8 head on that trailer. But so Sarah drove. It wasn't far because Sarah's out of New York anyways. Okay. So she drove like 8 hours, 6 hours across to Mass. Got the trailer, got the truck, whatever. But as soon as the cow got down to the location, it went to Virginia. And she had the vet come out, dehorn it. Right. And then I had it made. It said Lippert, whatever. So she kept the cow. The cow was staying alive. Right. It was a good cow. It was actually a really good cow. But she got spooked. That's all it was. She got spooked.
Good story.
But dude, that's I'd like to say that's the most memorable, but that's not Highland. Yeah, that's the most memorable.